My mother had stage 4 bladder cancer. She was 69 years old. Growing up, I watched her fought different kinds of cancer. It started with breast cancer, then ovarian cancer, and then finally bladder cancer. She put up a good fight. Towards the end, we decided as a family that we're just going to let it be. And then she told me that she was content with her life. We went to Japan for a good final trip. I didn't tell her that I just had been diagnosed, that I had cancer too. So yeah, I kept it from her. Stage 3 breast cancer. I was shaking really uncontrollably, and the thoughts that were going through my mind initially were all very domestic. So I was thinking about like, who's going to take care of my children, who's going to send them to school, who's going to do their spelling and their things here with them. If my husband had to do everything, what if he falls ill as well?
The type of cancer that Wei Wei has been diagnosed with is linked with the BRCA1 gene mutation. Now, everyone has this gene, and the normal function is to suppress the development of cancer. However, 1 in several hundred to 1,000 normal individuals would be born with a mutated or abnormal gene, and then the gene will not function as it should. This mutation is something that Wei Wei has inherited from her mother, and it puts her at very high risk of developing breast and ovarian cancer. It is important that Wei Wei went through genetic testing to confirm this, because this knowledge would affect how we would treat her.
Growing up, I watched my mother go through all the chemo treatments. It was very painful because she was tired all the time and always lying in bed, and she threw up a lot, non-stop actually. It was quite traumatizing as a kid, to watch her go through that.
But treatment these days are much better, both in its tolerance and outcomes.
Growing up, we were poor, so I remember for my mom's treatment, there was always a lot of waiting. We have to wait for the chemo treatment to start, and then we have to wait for a call, there's just a lot of waiting. My treatment process was smooth and very quick. The day I met Dr. Carmen Wong, she was literally saying that I can start the treatment today. So I was quite shocked and didn't expect that to come, but there was a sense of urgency and we are racing against time. It is very difficult to have to go through this alone, definitely. So I was very fortunate to have a lot of support around me from the nurses and doctors, and of course my family and my friends, even my mother. I eventually told her about my diagnosis. She was actually very relieved to see that my treatment process was much more bearable compared to her time. I know that during her time it was really tough.
I told Wei Wei about the treatment plans we had for her, knowing the reality that she would have a very high chance of cancer on the other breast as well as the ovaries. Wei Wei was indeed very decisive and brave. Immediately, she made the call to have both breasts removed as well as the fallopian tubes and the ovaries.
Dr. Carmen Wong was there with me every step of the way. She would always cheer me on and celebrate successes with me. Every time when she was checking on the lump to see if the treatment had been effective, she would be like chanting smaller, smaller. Even in the emotional aspects of things, she was there.
Wei Wei had a deep guilt about her children's feelings towards her, should they indeed inherit the BRCA gene. She believed that her kids were going to be angry with her for possibly passing the gene to them.
I remember Dr. Carmen Wong was like telling me, are you angry with your mother for having you? So I said, no, of course not. I'm very proud of my mom. So she said, yeah, then why would your children be angry with you? I'm in remission now, and I'm really glad, thankful to all the doctors who had helped me to get to this point that I'm in now.
Wei Wei was very clear and therefore decisive to do whatever it took to get better. Indeed, I'm very happy for her.
We can't choose the circumstances, but we can definitely choose our reaction to them. So why not let these choices that we made be for good, for gladness, to bring hope to other people. So I decided that, I will be the son.
Wei Wei did well. She has an amazing positive attitude and took proactive steps with the information. It is important to note that being a carrier of this gene is not a death sentence. 10 to 20 years ago, we could not have this information so readily because the test is not so widely available. However, today genetic testing is more readily available and more affordable, and if genetic testing can be used appropriately and positively, it could improve the outlook and treatment of the patients.
My mother, she lost her fight to cancer at 69 years old. I'm very proud of her for how she handled her illness. And I really miss her, especially the cooking. But I don't resent her for giving birth to me. To me, she's still mom. And I realized that's how my children look at me too. When I was sick at home with no hair, initially I was concerned about how they would look at me, but I realized that there's no difference. To them, I'm still mom, still mommy.